Hey you guys, it's Linda and welcome to my channel. Today I'm gonna do a get ready with me, so it's gonna be a longer video than I usually do, and I'm just gonna keep talking about like how I became a makeup artist, how it all started, and you know, my story. Well, how did I start off with makeup? I'm just gonna be straight honest. I was never interested in makeup when I was a kid. I was interested in playing football, doing gymnastics, being out playing in the woods. I was in the Scouts. I played with Lego. So I was never really interested in doing, you know, makeup. And my mom never really I never really got introduced to makeup properly. So I was never really into makeup until I found out that I was really into like dressing up. So I played dress up a lot. I loved going to like masquerade parties and stuff. So when I played dressed up, I realized it was so much more fun to do if you painted your face. So I painted my face just to get in like the right character. And I thought that was so much more fun. And that was my first like interaction with makeup, I think. Otherwise, I don't really remember like using makeup at all. I used it more to, you know, express myself in different ways, more than putting on makeup to make myself look beautiful, because I didn't do that. I was like, as I said, I was playing in the woods and stuff. And I was, you know, filming with my friends, and we often dressed up like guys. So we never used makeup really. And in my hometown, you know, I'm from a very small town in Sweden called, oops, I need to turn off my phone. This town I grew up in, and it's a very small town, and there are really no like Sephora's or other places you could actually buy makeup. You bought makeup in the local grocery store or at a very expensive perfumery. And when I went into the perfumery, the staff in there, they thought that I was supposed to like steal things. So I never really went in there because I thought it was scary. I thought like the people who worked there were scary. So like makeup, I was like, was never really, I never really got interested in makeup. My first makeup product I got, I think it was like a little palette from Isadora with 4 colors. Of course they were blue because everything was blue. So blue. And I also remember I borrowed my mom's self-tan lotion. And also her very like dark foundation that I thought was very interesting when I came into puberty and I got pimples and stuff. And I also did a horrible thing. I took this thing in Swedish it's called Absolut Torr. It's a very strong thing with a lot of like chemicals that makes you not sweat. So you put it on and then you wait overnight, and then you don't sweat for 2 weeks because like the sweat comes out somewhere else. And I used that for my spots because I thought, oh, if it is so much chemicals inside of it, it might just kill all the spots on my face. But it kind of killed my face because it hurt so bad. So like it burned in my face, it burned, and I was so sore. It looked like I had mosquito bites all over my face, and it was horrible. As I said, I was never really interested in makeup, and I could never say that makeup was one of my interests back then because I was all into sports and stuff, so I never really cared about makeup. I really lived in a city where you couldn't stand out because everything that was, you know, different and if you were different, people would like, other kids would bully you for it. I always felt like I was wrong. Even though I've never been bullied in my life, which is a like great privilege, because I know that so many people has such a hard time being bullied. I wanted to be like the emos, like with black eyes and like clothes with band t-shirts and tattoos and piercings and everything. I thought it was so cool. I wore white jeans, t-shirts that was pink. I was blonde. I had a little bit of mascara, so I could fit in, because everything is about just fitting in and be like everybody else. At least in Sweden, it's just horrible, and I really hate that. And I think it's still, when I come back home to my hometown, I can still feel that. That like, okay, wow, how'd you dare? How can you go like that? How can you walk around with smoky eyes and red lips? Oh my god, people will think I'm a hooker if I walked around like that. And I'm like, what? Really? Because I'm just so tired of it. I'm just so tired of like the talking, and because they are talking shit about other people because of how they look. Of course it is like this in bigger cities as well. When I went to high school, I went to music, like a music class. So I sang and I played the guitar, and I played some, I could play some drums, I could play some bass, I could play some piano, everything. I really wanted to be like an artist. That was my dream when I was a kid. I really wanted to be it, but the thing was that I had stage fright, which is a really bad combination if you want to be an artist. But I became a makeup artist. After high school, I had no idea, because people, they were going to university and they were moving from my hometown to like study and stuff, and I was just, you know, I had no idea. I had no plans, nothing at all whatsoever. I saw this ad in a magazine that said, do you want to be a makeup artist? And I was like, what is a makeup artist? Because I still had no idea. I was 18 at the time, and I had no idea what a concealer was. But the thing was that on that picture, on that ad, was a body painted woman. And I was like, wow, that is what I want to do. I want to paint people. I want to make art out of people. And because I'm a quite social person. I like people. I love talking to people. I'm very interested in people in general. I was like, maybe I should check this out and see what it is. I applied to that school and I got in. The problem was, when I got in, I was like, okay, holy shit, where am I supposed to live? To live in Stockholm is like really hard if you don't know anyone, if you don't have like parents who lives there, or friends or relatives, or if you don't have a shitload of money. And I had none of it, because I didn't know anyone in Stockholm. I had no money. I had nothing, like no connection to Stockholm at all. So me and my then ex-boyfriend, we searched for apartments and everything, but we didn't find anything. The solution was to move to Stockholm in a caravan. So we took this caravan and we put it on a camping a little bit outside of the city center. And I lived there for, I don't know, for 2 or 3 months. And to be 18 years old, move to a new city, go to a makeup artist school, which was, in my opinion, it was quite cool. And I was like, wow, I live in Stockholm now. I'm doing a makeup artist school, but I lived in a caravan. So I was really ashamed of what I was doing, like of my life situation. So I never really told people where I lived, and people never, you know, came to see me at my place, because I never told them where I lived, because I was too ashamed. And we didn't have running water in the caravan, so I couldn't shower there. I couldn't, you know, wash my brushes or like clean my products, nothing. Everything was just really, you know, really, it was kind of hard for me because running water was in a little house a couple of 100 meters from the caravan where I could, you know, go to the toilet. I could do all of those stuff that required water, which I didn't have. So that was such a hard time, and at the time I was really, you know, I was trying to find myself. I was really insecure. I was kind of shy. I had a hard time. 18 years old, you don't have any money, and I couldn't afford to buy products as the other people in my class. So what I did was to mix my own formulas. I mixed lipsticks with pigments, and I mixed everything just to get new colors, new formulas, and new everything, because that was my only way to, you know, get new shades and stuff to make interesting looks at my school. That was kind of where I set the idea to my brand for the first time, because I kind of multi-used everything that I got in my starter kit when I went to makeup school. After makeup school, I actually moved back home because I felt like I had a little life crisis. Me and my ex-boyfriend broke up. I actually moved to an apartment in Stockholm after that, and I lived by myself for a while, and it was both good and bad because I felt very alone, and I just felt like, you know, what am I doing here? Why am I in this city alone? But on the other hand, I felt like for once in my life I found something that I am really good at. I was really, you know, really insecure, but still I managed to do things really good. And I felt like maybe this is my thing. Maybe this is what I'm supposed to do. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna go get like something colored. And yes, I'm in a bikini because it's so hot in here. And in Sweden, we don't really have air condition because it's always cold. So now it's really hot, but I still don't have any air conditioning, so that's why I'm in a bikini. No, so I moved back home. That also was like a little, because when you live by yourself and then move back home to your parents' place, you feel like you don't, I just felt like I wasn't good enough. Why didn't I manage to do that? Everybody else did. Everybody else has friends. Everybody else could afford to buy stuff. Everybody else could do this, everybody else could do that. I tried to get some, you know, weddings in a city as small as that. It did not really work. I worked in sales for some time for L'Oreal, Max Factor, Nivea, I think. I'm not really sure. I was in different stores and selling their products. I was a really bad salesperson, so that was never really my thing. I quit that job and I started to work at makeup store in a little town called Kristianstad that is really close to my hometown. So I worked there for maybe half a year or something, and then I moved to Linköping, a bigger city closer to Stockholm, like 2 hours from Stockholm. I continued working at makeup store there actually, and for 5 years, and I loved it. It was amazing, and I could freelance a lot through them, and I got so many friends. At the same time, I also worked in a restaurant. I worked as a telemarketing person. That was awful because I have phone phobia. I really hate calling people, so that was like the worst thing for me ever. But I was really desperate because I needed a job so bad. So I thought that maybe, I mean, if people can do this, I can do this, and I can manage to, you know, face my fear, but I never really did. I also worked at a nightclub at the same time. I did some freelance. I did like brides and like party makeups for people, and so I had a lot of things going on. And I also worked at a hairdresser's place I was selling products. I did not cut people's hair. And at the time I also started blogging when I moved to Linköping, because I wanted my friends back home to know like what I was doing without calling them every day. So I started to blog back then, and I think it was 2008. I was blogging about my life and what I was doing and stuff, like a lifestyle blog. By mistake, I deleted the blog. I was really pissed off back then because I was like, I put down so much time and effort in this, so I'm never gonna do a blog again. But then my ex-boyfriend told me, why don't you just start blogging about makeup instead? And I did after a while, and it was fun, and I was very early with having a niched makeup blog. My blog got bigger and bigger. I don't like to be in the center of attention. I've always been told by people that like, don't think you are better than anyone else. I've always have had those words in my brain. Why do you say that to someone that really have high goals and things they want to do in life? In Sweden we call it jantelagen. It's just about that you can't stand out. You have to be like everyone else. And I think that is just so weird, and it's so sad. I moved here again. And you know, I promised myself never moving back here again, because I really hated it so bad. At that time, I had made friends in Stockholm from work. When I moved back here, I actually liked it, or well, I loved it. And now I love Stockholm. This time I could afford to buy an apartment with my boyfriend, Linus. I worked only with social media then, and I had my YouTube channel together with Bangerhead, which is an online shop for makeup and hair and skincare. So we were talking about like making a collaboration, because I had an idea. I worked as a makeup artist now for about 11 years, and I know that makeup artists, they carry around heavy stuff. What's the heaviest thing you carry in your bag when you're traveling? It's always your makeup. What I thought was like, why haven't anyone been thinking about like a multifunctional brand where people can use like everything everywhere? Because I did that. During the time we developed the Infinity palette, I had so many ideas, so we started a company. Either it will go really good, or either it won't go at all. Today I'm here way more confident about myself and what I'm doing, but I still feel those things that I'm not enough. I have those things in me that you can't be somebody because you have to just be like everybody else. I think if you want to be something, just go for it and never discriminate yourself if you want to do something. And I really want to talk to you guys about everything of this, because nobody really knows me, because I've always been kind of private in social media. Everybody just knows me through makeup. Nobody really knows who I am and what I stand for and where I came from. I started off my makeup career in a caravan because I didn't have any money. 10 years ago, I would never ever told anyone this because I was too ashamed. I always had a very positive mind, and I think that has been my strength in this, that I've always been very positive. I've been thinking very positive, and if I want something, then I make sure it happens, and I've always been like that. I think it's really important that you just fight for it, and that you never give up your dreams and thoughts. Even if people say that you can never be anything, or if people let you down because they think you are too much or too little, don't ever let people do that. So I think that's pretty much my story, like from I was 3 to where I am right now. And my life right now is kind of exciting. I was burned out. I was under a lot of stress for many years, which was horrible, but I never really talked about it either. I just, you know, went on and I was a machine. I was working 24/7. But I figured out that I can't do this. This is not working anymore. So I said stop, and I started talking about it. I started to talk about my stress, and I started to talk about like my stress to colleagues, and I was very open about things, and it helped me a lot. I think there's so many people out there that are stressed, that live in stress, like a stressful like environment and at work and in school and everything. And I think it's really important just to talk about it, even if it's hard sometimes. I never really talk to people about my problems and everything. I liked to hold it inside of me, and sometimes my best ideas comes to me when I'm, or pretty much always, when I'm sad or when I'm angry or when I don't feel very good. So I always kept everything inside, and then I created things from it. So future, we have like the whole 2019 planned, and it feels really nice and also scary, because when you are on social media, people follow all the steps you take. If you do any mistakes, everybody knows about it. So I mean, it's very scary, but it's also amazing. I have wonderful colleagues that I love working with, that are so positive, and they share the same values and everything as I do. And I really want to, you know, share my philosophy to the world, that makeup is only colors. Like, to make the world a more creative place and make sure like that nobody is excluded from the makeup industry, because makeup is for everybody. So what are we getting ready for, you ask? Nothing really. I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit, because I never do that. Today I'm proud about my story, and a story that I felt so much shame about when I was younger. And I know that there's so many of you out there who are young, who doubt yourself, who are very shy, and who were just like me when I was young, when I was 18 and I took the step to move away. I had a small vision that became a really big vision, and I'm proud of myself. I can finally say that I'm proud of myself, and I'm not ashamed of anything anymore. So I really hope you liked the video. Don't forget to like it, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you again next week. Bye guys.